The hospitality industry in the Twin Ports is starting to bounce back from a tough 2020. Angie Allen and her husband have owned the A.G. Thompson Bed and Breakfast in the Congdon neighborhood for 14 years. She says they anticipated a drop in reservations when the pandemic first started, but nothing could prepare them for what actually happened. They were down 65% by summer. PPP loans and other small business grants covered the day-to-day expenses, but didn't make up for all their losses.
You prepare for some in your cash, in your reserves. You prepare during the high season for the low season, but nobody could have prepared for the volume of cancellations and refunds.
Allen says they plan on sticking with some of the changes they made during the pandemic, including certain cleaning procedures. And there are a lot of couples getting married this year, and after postponing their I-dos due to COVID in 2020, event spaces in the Northland are capitalizing after also having a tough year. CBS 3's Natalie Grant shows us how.
Katie Sutton and her fiancé Nick have been together for 6 years.
We planned for a somewhat long engagement. We thought about maybe 2-ish years, but we didn't expect it to hit 3.
Their wedding at Clyde Ironworks was originally scheduled for last May, but due to the pandemic was pushed to December and then finally to August, competing with other couples for the final open date of 2021.
We wanted to have the full big wedding. A lot of people have decided to do small, intimate ceremonies with just immediate friends, but that just wasn't us.
Sutton and her fiancé are not the only ones having to make these last-minute changes. Due to an increased demand for event spaces caused by pandemic restrictions starting to loosen, places like the Sports Garden are having to rebrand, turning the well-known nightclub into a wedding venue.
We know that there is such a pent-up demand for spaces, wedding spaces, reception spaces, all those sorts of things, that we kind of saw a hole in the market.
After sitting empty for the past year, owners decided it was time for a change. The space will now go under the new name of The Garden and will offer groups a chance to rent out the large space.
It's interesting in that it was COVID that caused us to kind of get restricted out of business, but it also gave us the chance to kind of reimagine the space. And so it's really because of COVID that we are transitioning into this new venue.
Bronson hopes this new venue will be useful to people looking to rebook those postponed 2020 events. Sutton, on the other hand, is looking forward to finally walking down the aisle.
Still fingers crossed that this time it'll work out. Either way, I think we will get married, even if it has to be a small ceremony, but I don't think that's going to happen this time around.
Bronson says they're hoping to have the garden open by May. If you'd like information on how to book, we have details on our website.